I don't know, honestly. I really just don't know what to do with myself when talking about this team, watching this team, whatever the case may be. I don't know what to do with myself anymore because I I appreciate the win tonight, but holy crap, the bipolar performances are driving me insane to say the least. Because it's like you had me shit talking you after the Marlins series. You go out there and do this tonight. Should I feel eh about what's going on right now, considering they're not facing the Tigers' best pitchers? I don't know. I don't know how to feel from these games. The only feeling that I have is pretty much what the title says, which is that Juan Soto's making a late push to win MVP. That's all the only thing that I know for certain right now. And he is playing unbelievable baseball. But the Mets end up finding a way to I shouldn't say find a way. They do win the series and win this game 12-5, game 139 of the regular season here. Leave a like on your way to the post-game show. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, especially if you're Met fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live here on Met Central. But yeah, I mean, like I said, just very bipolar team. And I'm having a hard time sitting here telling myself how to feel. But let's talk about the game at least before I, get into the depths of that. Pete Alonso starts things off with a solo shot in the first inning, hitting one 435 feet dead freaking center to set the tone of the game. And unfortunately, though, Nolan McLean in the bottom of the first did not look sharp at all, just allowing too many walks. His breaking stuff was left too much over the plate. He allowed a single to Torkelson, allowed one to Perez. They end up getting Perez out, trying to stretch his single out to a double, thankfully. And honestly, that might have been best case scenario there because I don't know how McLean would have fared the rest of that inning, and it kept the pitch count a little bit lower. So I don't know how many more innings you would have got from him than what you got tonight. But you got to give so much credit to Noah McLean. I want to start there because for him to go out there and have the first inning that he did and then respond, not the greatest second inning. I mean, he walks the leadoff batter. Torrens was unbelievable today, and he ended up catching McKinstry stealing a bag there. Really good on Torrens there, who has been arguably one of the better defensive catchers in baseball in terms of just gunning guys out. Then he allows that single to Dingler, but he gets out of that jam. And the rest of the game, or the rest of his start, doesn't allow anything at all. And you got to give major credit to Noah McLean doing stuff that veteran starting pitchers on this staff do not do. Doing stuff that aces would do. Not a good first few innings. You adjust. You make it happen. You make everything work. And how about him striking out the side in the fifth inning? How about that sinker to Keith off the plate there that had him swinging out of his shoes? It was beautiful to watch Noah McLean go out there, strike out the side in the fifth. Beautiful to watch him, like I said, settle down and give you 6 innings because with every starter on this staff outside of him, and I don't want to say anything about Tong because Tong has had 1 start, but every single time, these guys let the littlest things have them unravel. And then we're in for a short outing. We're in for a loss. A billion runs on the board. The bullpen has to get a billion outs. But how about McLean making adjustments on the fly, settling in like a veteran starter would? And if this is how Noah McLean is, and I know it's 4 starts and I don't want to get ahead of myself too much, but if this is the type of pitcher that he is in 4 major league starts, I cannot wait to see what he does going forward. Because to have this poise and to do this at 24 years old as a rookie when the pressure is really on you because the rest of this rotation stinks. It's so impressive. And I actually have a quote here from him after the game. Noah McClain on his pitch repertoire and adjusting tonight versus the Tigers. Started to lose confidence in the sweeper and curveball early, wasn't throwing it for strikes. Once I got in a groove there, I figured I'd go back and try it and wound up having it later in the game. I love this guy already. I freaking love this guy already. Man, how beautiful is that to hear? And then major credit to this offense, though, for giving him run support to help him out. Because in that fourth inning, Juan Soto, by the way, started 2 rallies tonight. That's something that won't show up on the scorebook, but he started 2 of the rallies tonight. The one in the fourth inning, gets a leadoff walk, steals a bag. Brandon Nimmo ends up getting a single. Vientos walks. McNeil ties the game up with a single. Mullins hits a sac fly. And then Luis Torrens ends up hitting a home run, of course, to the opposite field. That's all he does. But you take it, a 6-2 ball game. And all of a sudden, McClain has that wiggle room to kind of let him go back to those pitches that he was referring to. So, major credit to both McClain and the offense tonight for jumping on a piss poor starting pitcher. And then in the 7th inning, Juan Soto starts that off with a home run. Alonso goes back to back, having a 2 home run game. Nimmo with a single, Vientos with a double, and they are absolutely destroying Chris Paddock, which was beautiful. Because I can't stand him for the 2019 thing still. Yes, I'm not over it. Jeff McNeil then makes it a 10-2 game with a single. Mullins, of course, is the first out of the inning. Torrens hits a single. Beatty makes it 11-2. Lindor makes it 12-2. Soto, another single for him. And they finally decide to pull Chris Paddock then, which it was like, sure, I don't understand why, but whatever. I got to the point where I just wanted the game to end at the same time. Kevin Herget, major credit to him as well, going out there and eating a lot of innings. It sucks that you couldn't get him to finish out that 3rd inning, but I also don't blame him because he's not a long relief guy, and he was just out there not too long ago acting as a long relief guy, not a long time between his last appearance and this one. And then Ryan Stanek, I thought he was going to make it stressful when he allowed that single, but he ends up getting through it with 2 flyouts, and the Mets end up winning back-to-back ball games. And it just like, with this in the Philly series, it's like you look at this and it's like, why couldn't they just beat the freaking Nationals? And now with this, why couldn't you just beat the freaking Marlins? Very, very frustrating in that regard. But also, again, I mean, this team just being bipolar. They didn't face the Tigers' best pitching in this series, and they won it already. Hopefully tomorrow they could end up going for the sweep. Casey Mize is a better pitcher than what they have faced thus far in this series, so we'll see how that goes. But that's where it's like, I don't know how to feel about this team. I really don't know how to feel. All I could sit here and say is the offense, if they could even put up 6 runs a game, I will take it more times than not. It's just, again, will they? I don't know. When they face a quality pitcher, that's what I worry about because we saw it with Sandy. But this is the time to heat up, like I said. So find a way to keep this going from what you've done in these first 2 games offensively, especially with Juan Soto, who, again, making a late MVP push right now. And if his batting average was slightly higher, I think more people would actually be saying he's the front runner. But the batting average crowd, of course, doesn't want to pay attention to that. Could you imagine, by the way, which this is a down year for Juan Soto, and he did have the slow start. There's no denying it. Could you imagine if he was just half of what he's been right now in April? Like, holy crap, could you imagine the numbers right now? And he's still putting up a historic type season for this team. He's going to lead the league in walks. He's going to put up 40 bombs, most likely. Worth every damn penny. Showing us why we were excited in December 9th. I think that was the date. why we were excited in December when they signed Juan Soto, or December 8th, rather. The question also comes into what is in store with Clay Holmes tomorrow? What's in store with the other veteran starting pitchers? Because they've shown, all right, they could win with Noah McLean on the mound. They could win with Jonah Tong on the mound, which it was one start. But the question becomes, what do the veterans have in store for us? And especially Clay Holmes tomorrow, who at this point, I mean, outside of David Peterson, like those two are your most reliable veterans, I guess, and they're not even great. But the thing that I'm just asking for is please just use the full arsenal tomorrow, Holmes. Please just use the full arsenal. Let me just see what you guys are saying in the chat though right now. There's a lot of comments here, and I appreciate it. Respect Kevin Herget for trying to eat all 3 innings, but you could tell Unk was gassed in the 9th. Yeah, he was definitely gassed by the end of it, but I gave him a standing ovation still from the couch. Time to talk about using Minaya and Senga as openers slash piggybacks. Minaya is really good for about 60 pitches if he can let it all out in those pitches and then have someone like Holmes piggyback him. I don't hate the idea, but you also do shorten a little bit your bullpen flexibility, which isn't as bad now that the September call-ups happen. I think you should just be putting Minaya and or Senga on the IL right now. Both of them are clearly not themselves, especially Minaya. He's clearly hurt. Veteran starters need to take notes on how poised McLean was. Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. And that's the thing that I've been saying is, aren't these guys embarrassed that you have a rookie who looks like he's on, like, if the playoffs start today, Noah McLean's my starter for game 1. Well, obviously, oh, but he just pitched, so he needs rest. You know what I mean? If it all lines up to where he is on the right amount of rest, he's my game 1 pitcher right now. 1,000,000%. McLean was really impressive tonight. Really seemed like a veteran. Didn't have his breaking stuff, battled, and was still able to give 6 innings, 2 run balls. The other pitchers need to take notes. Is damn right. Is damn right. He still racked up 7 Ks. To be honest, there is no way to feel. I'm just taking it game by game. I'm not really excited when they win, and I don't get frustrated when they lose. And that's kind of probably the right mentality to have right now. But there's also this part of me that's like, I want to have a gauge one way or another with this. Yeah, the in-game adjustments. It was beautiful. Soto's worth every penny and is my MVP. The offense, yet again, firing on all cylinders tonight. Major credit to them. Like I said, helped give McLean the wiggle room to go back to the breaking stuff. Anyone that did doubt him is just straight up an idiot. You could have been frustrated, which we all were at one point. I was frustrated. You guys know it. We were all frustrated with the way the start went. We were all frustrated when he wasn't coming through with runners in scoring position. But the thing I kept saying, and all of us, I think most people agreed on, unless again you are just straight up an idiot, is that it's going to change at some point. And we weren't sitting here saying, yeah, he's going to be like this his entire Met career. Everyone deep down knew at some point it would change. Would it be this year or would it be next year? We didn't know, but they are getting it right now in the most important stretch of the season. And it only makes me get chills thinking about October, what he's going to do. Down here for Soto and his OPS is OPS plus is one less than his career average. Yeah, and still leading the league in walks. Might end up having the most home runs in the season he has had. What else? I was looking earlier at his stats actually just to see. Um, what was the other one I was looking at? Oh yeah, might match. I don't know if he's going to. He might have to have a big game in there, but there's a chance he matches his RBI total from like his career high in a single season. Which again, if there was a little bit, if in April he was a little bit better with runners at scoring position, I mean, this is a completely different conversation. He's having a career year right now instead of this down year. Again, quote unquote down year. It's beautiful. This guy's really on my favorite baseball team. I agree with this. Mania needs to be shut down and just get the surgery. I agree there. It gets to a point where it's like you're hurting the team. And that's what I was saying yesterday. You're hurting the team more than helping. Superstars like Soto, there's no reason to be worried with them. They have too much talent. They will eventually make the necessary adjustments. Again, the rhythm. Soto did that. Exactly. I'm assuming you meant did that. But yeah. Again, it was warranted to be frustrated, but it was going to change. And now it is. And again, I will gladly take him heating up now. If I was to pick when Juan Soto's going to struggle, I would pick in April over now when they need him the most to step up. Simple as that. But I'm going to wrap things up here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live. And I'll see you guys in the next one.